Hi guys, welcome to Sweden. If you've been following my channel for a little bit, you will know that I've been trying to photograph snakes for a little bit now. So today I came to another lake than the one that I visited previously, and I came to a place where I'm sure I can find some grass snakes. Actually, they have their nest in those rock piles underneath this bridge here. So I've been photographing them with my 100 to 500 millimeters for actually a long while now. I managed to get quite a lot of shots today, but the light was very harsh because it's 7 p.m. now and the sunset is only in like 3 hours. So I think I will have to embrace the harshness of this light when doing the post-treatment for those pictures. And one thing I'm not a big fan of regarding this specific location is that those rock piles here do not make for the most interesting kind of habitat. But I think that I managed to actually isolate the snakes well enough from the more obvious human-made structures. And I think I've got enough shots of those snakes for now. But I've also noticed some lily pads that I would like to photograph as well. At first I was photographing the lily pad flower behind me here, not sure if you can still see it. But then I noticed a beautiful damselfly on this lily pad leaf, just 1.5 meters in front of me. So after doing some safety shots from up high, I moved to trying to get as low as possible to get eye level with the damselfly, because those photos usually have much more impact. But it's really difficult to shoot like that. First off, I'm a little bit worried about my gear, but that's okay. I'm managing to get it slightly out of the water. But then there's also a little bit of a breeze, so it's causing some ripples on the water. And those ripples are enough to have the dragonfly just move around like crazy, and the autofocus is struggling to follow the subject here. So I've taken a few dozen shots, and I hope that some of them will be good enough to use. And I'm gonna get back to my lily pad flower that I was shooting just before. But the mud or the silt is so thick here, I can barely move. One of the snakes that I was photographing came swimming by, but unfortunately I think I've disturbed it, because yeah, I did not mention that, but those grass snakes are actually excellent swimmers. Yeah, he's hiding on some roots near the water edge here, but I don't think that there is any more clear shots now. I can barely move here. I'm stuck in this silt. So I was standing on some kind of fallen tree under the surface of the mud, and now I fell off. And I would like to be higher, in fact, to get the perspective that I want. So yeah, that's better. But now the sun is behind the clouds, and by struggling in the mud, in the silt, I disturbed a lot of things that came up to the surface. So the water surface is not as clean as I would like it to be. But we will see if I can get the shot that I envisioned. The battery on my main camera here died while I was photographing those lily pads earlier. So I've taken this opportunity to actually stop for a little while, relax a little bit and have my dinner. And now I'm waiting for the sun to get down. Sunset should be in about 1 hour, but actually the sun will set behind some trees over there, so I think I've got something like 15-20 minutes before I need to get back to a composition that I scouted earlier. So in the meantime, I noticed a spider right in front of me here that is actually knitting its web. And I've been watching that for like 15 minutes or something like that. It's really hypnotizing. And at the same time, I'm trying to film it using my big lens. And I hope that I will have a little bit of footage that I can show. Okay, I think I've got a few shots here. I'm actually a little bit mad at myself because the light was much better a few moments just before I decided to switch over to photo mode. But I think I've got some nice ones. And now I think it's time to head back to my sunset spot and set up my composition. My tripod is still wet from when I put it in the water to film myself with those lily pads earlier. I will have to clean that when I get back home. Okay, my composition is finally ready here, and it took me a lot more time than expected because I had second thoughts. At first I really wanted to emphasize those gnarly roots that are growing on the rock, but then I also wanted to include some of the branches of the tree that are obviously up top. So what I did in the end is I raised my tripod basically all the way up. So I have the root system in the foreground, making for something like half of the frame basically. And then the branches are kind of framing the setting sun. But then the issue that I have is this birch tree here is creeping into my frame, and that's not something that I want. So that's why I'm having my frame basically ending right where the tree is growing. And then for this shot I'm focusing down on the root system on the ground, because actually that's the most important part of this image, I would say. But now that we are getting closer to sunset, actually there's a little bit of a cloud cover, and I'm not so happy about that, but what can you do? But actually I think that the light was at its best a little bit earlier on. Now the sun, I think, has dropped below the trees, and I'm saying I think because there's also some cloud cover over there. So I will just stick around for a little bit longer and hope that there is a tiny bit of a gap somewhere over there so that those clouds could catch some color. But to be honest, my hopes are very low for now. So if nothing happens, I would like to thank you guys for watching the video until the end. And I will see you in the next one. So bye for now and have a good one.